Welcome back, experiencers. Today I want to talk about a new topic. The topic, of course, of reading. How many of you have gotten a fifth grader who says, I hate to read? I almost guarantee everybody's hand would go up or you're nodding in agreement that yes, you've had at least one fifth grader who says, I hate to read. Well, it sucks, doesn't it? I've always said that when a kid tells me, Mr. Volts, I hate to read, that they just haven't found the right book yet. Now, of course, that's easier said than done because you may never find the right book for that kid. So, of course, how do you get kids to at least be okay with reading, if not like reading? The number one thing I can talk about is passion about what you're doing. When you're passionate about something that you are doing, the kids get excited too, of course. And you may think, well, of course, that's a duh thing. Why would you say that? Well, it may sound silly, but sometimes it's hard for us as teachers to find passion about what we're teaching too. I know specifically in my district, our curriculum for a while was very rigid, and a lot of the book choices that they chose weren't the best. Or the anthology we got had excerpts, which is like the worst thing ever, because why not read the whole book, right? Well, you don't need to read the whole book for Common Core or for your state standards, that's the thinking. So I have a few book recommendations for you today that I want to talk about that will help kids like to read. The first book I want to talk about is Wayside School is Falling Down. Now this technically is a third grade read, however my fifth graders have always loved the book whenever we read it. I use this for my below level readers in small group more often than not. The funny thing is, even though it's below grade level, the chapters are short enough for the kids to understand and the story's not necessarily connected. It eventually builds to a big climax at the end, but each story may not seem interconnected. My below grade level readers really love this because it is digestible really easily. They get to meet outlandish characters, they get to see what a random school is like, and they really learn about character development too. One of the reasons I love Wayside School is Falling Down specifically, though, is because of its fantasy nature. Louis Sachar, of course, has a bunch of other books out there too, and this is a good introduction to his writing. Once kids find a reader that they like, they will want to read more, of course. So check out Wayside School is Falling Down. It's an older text, but they do have updated covers for you as well. The next book I suggest is called Front Desk by Kelly Yang. This is a relatively newer book, however it's great. This is about a girl whose family starts running a hotel in California, the Cala Vista. Their goal, of course, is to eventually buy and own the hotel that they're working at, so that they have an idea of what they have as theirs, the American dream. This book is great because I have quite a few Burmese refugees who are in my classes. Here in Fort Wayne, we have a large population of Burmese refugees, and this is a book they have all related to for the most part because it is an Asian family, and a lot of the values they talk about are values that people hold in their homes. That doesn't mean that white and black kids cannot find a commonality with this book. It just shows more representation. The thing I love about this book, though, is it's told from the perspective of the young girl. In this case, she struggles and her family struggles too. They are working their hardest to try to get the American dream. And when we talk about the American dream in social studies, this is a good example of what the American dream looks like in today's society. So check out Front Desk by Kelly Yang. I use this mainly for kids who are on grade level, but this could easily be adapted to kids who are above grade level as well. The next book that I want to recommend is called A Long Way from Chicago. Now, this is an above grade level text for beginning of the year, and towards the end of the year, this would be on grade level. It's by Richard Peck, and this is a collection of stories about two siblings who go down state in Illinois. They leave Chicago to go visit their grandma during the Great Depression. Now, the really cool thing is, too, this is broken up into smaller stories that are easily bite-sized and are able to be read relatively easily. Even though it's a higher grade level in terms of difficulty, it is accessible for kids in your classroom. I suggest using this as an above grade level text at the beginning of the year and then as an on grade level text towards the middle and end of the year. Kids love this story because Grandma Dowdle is crazy and different out there. And the two kids are, even though they're older than our fifth graders, they definitely can relate to their stories. So check out A Long Way from Chicago. And its sister text too, A Year Down Yonder. The last text for today I want to talk to you about is The Unteachables. I actually use this as a read aloud and not necessarily as one that the kids read on their own, though you definitely could use this in small group too. This is a story about a class of kids who are deemed unteachable. They're forgotten. They're 8th graders. But really it's the story of a teacher who's given up on teaching. He's close to retirement and all he wants to do is get his pension and retire early. The class actually rallies around their teacher and they help him become a better teacher because of it. This is what I share with my kids towards the beginning of the year because every year I have kids in the class who are, let's just say, a little harder to handle. This helps them connect to our classroom, and it also helps kids understand what teachers are going through too. When you build classroom community, this is a great way to start the year. It may not be my first read aloud, but usually it's my second, especially for 5th grade. The part of this I love too, Gordon Corman, who is the author of this book, of course, writes a lot of other stories too. And this is a good way to introduce a new author to your kids. So these are some of my recommendations for read alouds and also for small group reading. Check out more on my channel as you go. Like and subscribe. Thanks. Have a great day.